Hey everybody, this is Barry Jones and this is my wife Angie.
Hi again.
And we're coming to you again to talk a little bit about marriage and family. And what we want to talk to you about this week is there's a little bit of a backstory to this. We were watching a Seinfeld comedy special, and I have to mention it's Seinfeld because I'm a pastor and then I don't want to
Gotta be clean.
flip out. So somewhere during the course of the stand-up, he talks about how his wife mocks him and how he, maybe not as much as she does him, but he does it a little bit in return. And because stand-up to work, it has to be relatable, and so everyone in the crowd was laughing because they knew exactly what he was talking about because they had gone through it themselves. And Angie and I just kind of looked at each other, and we don't do that. We don't mock one another. And we've said things that we should not have. We've said things that were not thought through. We have said things that were mean-spirited. So please, again, don't think that we're perfect. But one of the things that it really made us think about is how there is no excuse for rudeness.
Yeah.
And I think that that's really important.
Our relationships, these are our intimate relationships. We know all of our buttons. We know what the other person is sensitive about. It is very easy to push those buttons, and it's very difficult to hold that and restrain that. But we need to weigh our words and measure our words even more succinctly when we're in the middle of a frustration or an argument, or we're just angry about something. Those are the times we have to be even more deliberate with our words to not be hurtful.
Yeah, and I think that a lot of it is just intentional. You know, I can't get my point across, or they're not listening, and so they just they resort to rudeness by mocking the other person, by making fun of something that they're sensitive about. Just knowing the button and just pushing it.
Yeah. And
there's just absolutely, that never helps. And what a lot of people don't realize is that you can do permanent damage.
Irrevocable.
You'll say something that can never be taken back. And I have sat down with men and women where they talk about how my spouse once, they said this, and I've never been able to let it go.
It's something small.
Yeah.
Because once you say it's out there.
Yeah.
And
either something small has been said multiple times, or sometimes it is something really big, really intentionally hurtful.
Yeah.
And both Angie and I came from families. I came from a family that was very sarcastic, and let me tell you, it just gets old after a while. And she came from a family that
there was a lot of violent arguing, and I can't tolerate that. I can't tolerate that kind of chaos, and so.
Right.
So we've set up some things. He knows when enough is enough, and honestly, he's got a look that tells me when I've gone too far. So I'm very familiar with that look, just so that you all know. I tend to say things without thinking sometimes, and so I see that look on him, and I have to step back a little bit.
And we've both been guilty of that. So one of the things that I try to encourage people is there comes a point where you have to say, listen, I'm not going to speak to you that way, right, and you're not going to speak to me that way.
We need to set some boundaries, and because we do treat people, we teach people how to treat us. So if we're going to allow a certain thing to happen without any repercussions, any kind of feedback on that, then we can expect that to keep happening. And so you set a tone for arguments. You set a tone for your household when that continues to happen.
We all step over the line, and it's also our job that when somebody steps over the line with us, that we say, that's enough of that. So there's responsibility on both parties. It's not just my responsibility to say the right things. It's also Angie's responsibility to say when I've gone too far.
We hold each other accountable,
right,
even in our arguments, for the way we treat each other and others. And that's partly why God put us together, is to make each other holy, and to start the process.
Start the process.
So
yeah. These aren't halos behind us.
No.
All right. So although it kind of. So just to sum up again, Even no matter how big or how heated the argument, there is no excuse for being rude.
Absolutely.
Okay. All right, guys, that's it for this week. Y'all take care and God bless.
Bye.
Bye.